Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I hope that you guys had a great networking session and really connected with like-minded individuals. I know all day I've been enjoying hearing the different speakers and the different wisdom that they bring in their topic. And I have a pleasure today to introduce one of my favorites, Jody Wright. Just a little background information. She was probably the first person I've met from Foot Massage USA, and I was delighted. She is not only charming, but so wise and has so much content to share. So I'm going to do a little introduction for her. Jody Wright is an instructor and trainer for Infant Massage USA, and also she did my training, but otherwise. She's an international trainer for International Association of Infant Massage with almost 40 years of experience. She also works through the, I might pronounce this wrong, Anita Marga organization as an Acharya to teach personal meditation practices and yoga postures. Jody will present on why touch is so important for babies in their first few years of life. This will include naming the numerous benefits of infant massage, such as growth, bonding, brain development, eating, and nutrient absorption, digestion, vagal nerve response, and immune function. This information will be supported by relevant research studies from around the world. So thank you, Jody, so much for coming on.
Thank you, Ashley. It's been a great conference so far. I've really enjoyed it.
Good. I'll hop off so you can take.
All right. Let me go back to the beginning here. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. I wanted to talk today about why touch is so vital for babies. And I wanted particularly to look at the research and what it tells us are the benefits of touch. So that's been my focus today for our PowerPoint. I wanted to look at touch related to many different fields, areas in a baby's life during infancy, pregnancy, and birth, that golden hour after birth, skin-to-skin time, breastfeeding, infant massage, caring and holding, hormones and touch, hugging and affection. And I found that it took a lot of work to do all that. And I put a lot of work in for the last month or so doing it, but there's even more out there that I haven't seen. So let's look at what I've got together. Touch is a fundamental aspect of social interaction. Social touch calms the recipient of the touch during stressful experiences. It can reduce activation in threat-related regions of the brain. It can influence activation in the stress pathway in the nervous system, reducing levels of stress hormones, and has been found to stimulate the release of oxytocin. Elevated levels of oxytocin are associated with increased trust, cooperative behavior, and more effective reading of others' emotions, and more constructive development of solutions. I'm trying to see if I can move my little button here so I can read my text better, but I haven't been able to. But what's interesting about that is that it comes from a federal lawsuit on solitary confinement. And yet it is a great outline of the kinds of things that we're going to be talking about today in relationship to touch. Touch is now understood to be the first sensation a fetus perceives. At birth and during the initial months of life, it's an infant's most critical and fully developed sense. The way babies start exploring the world, developing confidence, learning where their bodies and everything else begins. That came from an article in National Geographic on the power of touch in June 2022, when all of us were still under COVID restrictions and not touching very much. I'd like to look at a historical look at touch deprivation, just briefly. In the 13th century, the Roman Emperor Frederick II had infants raised with extremely limited human interaction because he wanted to see what language they would use. But the babies did not live long enough to speak, and so he never found out the answer to his question, which is what language would babies speak naturally. In 1915, research showed that most babies in orphanages in the US died of a disease they called marasmus. Due to poor care, particularly due to lack of touch and proper nutrition, they simply withered away and failed to thrive. I did a little research a few years ago on foundling hospitals in the 1800s and found that the foundling hospitals that were set up to help children babies who were left on church doorsteps in baskets failed to, in many cases, save even one child's life. We still have not learned the lesson, even from those experiences. In 1944, in the United States, 20 infants were kept in isolation in a research study in the United States. The study was stopped at 4 months when over half of the infants had died. In 1958, Harry Harlow demonstrated with his monkeys that primate babies preferred a cloth mother over a wire one. And we continue to create new devices and methods to separate mothers and their babies, even today. Pregnancy is a time of continual maternal touch, so I wanted to start there. That's my daughter, Emily, the picture she had me take of her when she was pregnant. When can a baby first feel touch? At 5 weeks, the developing embryo will move away from painful stimuli. The somatosensory system develops very gradually. At week 8 of pregnancy, babies have developed touch receptors in their face, mostly on their lips and nose, that connect to the growing brain. And then touch receptors start to form in the genitals, the palms, and the soles by week 12. They develop in the abdomen by week 17. Early in pregnancy, a fetus reacts to touch with changes in heart rate or hormones. Researchers estimate that babies feel and respond to pain when the somatosensory system is complete at 29 to 30 weeks old. A small study showed twins interact with each other starting at 14 to 18 weeks. Babies are not only aware of other babies in the womb, but they also interact in specific and planned ways. Why do we rub our pregnant bellies? Researchers in Scotland compared fetal responses when pregnant women spoke to their babies or rubbed their bellies. Fetuses displayed more arm, head, and mouth movements when the mother touched her abdomen. Overall results suggest that maternal touch of the abdomen was a powerful stimuli, producing a range of fetal behavioral responses. Let's look at massage in pregnancy. Pregnant women diagnosed with major depression were given 12 weeks of twice per week massage therapy by their significant other. The women in the massage therapy group not only had reduced depression by the end of the therapy period, but they also had reduced depression and cortisol levels during the postpartum period. Their newborns were less likely to be born prematurely and low birth weight, and they had lower cortisol levels and performed better on the Brazelton neonatal behavioral assessment, habituation, orientation, and motor scales. So the babies changed when the mothers got massage, which pretty much means those babies were getting the massage too, and they were being affected by the differences with their own parent. Birth itself offers a wealth of life-changing touch sensations for the emerging baby. You ask, what does it babies, what are babies feeling when they're born? So some video coverage of that shows that labor plus the pressure from the cervix help a baby's skull bones ride over each other, allowing the whole skull to morph. The baby's head becomes an elongated cone with a rounded tip at one end to get through the pelvis. The brain itself changes form as this happens too. So there's a lot of pressure on that baby as they're being born. And one of the areas that the baby has the least tendency to feel pain is on the top of the head to make it easier for them to come through the birth canal. When a baby is born by cesarean section without this labor, they don't transition to the outside world as smoothly as those where labor has commenced. They have a higher rate of admission to neonatal units for respiratory problems, even after adjusting for other risk factors. So touch in labor is important for both mothers and babies, and they help us mature. They help us move through the natural process of giving birth to a child. The first hour or hours after birth have been called the golden hours, and touch is really a key to that period of time. In the first hours after birth, a baby is ideally placed on the mother's abdomen and chest, probably right after as they're born. The baby's temperature, heart rate, and breathing regulates when they are next to the mother's body, hear her heartbeat, hear the sound of blood going through her system, listen to their parents' voices. The baby cries less and the mother's relaxation hormones increase. During this time, babies experience 9 instinctive stages: a birth cry, a little bit of relaxation, awakening and looking around, getting active, taking a rest, crawling, shifting their movement towards the breast, becoming familiar with the breast and the chest, suckling, and finally sleeping. When the baby has immediate skin-to-skin contact after birth, there's many benefits for them. Uninterrupted baby-infant skin-to-skin contact within the hour after birth increased maternal confidence in caring, led to longer breastfeeding durations, greater respiratory temperature and glucose stability, and significantly less crying, indicating decreased stress. Sounds like babies were supposed to be there after birth, huh? In that first hour after birth and in the first days after birth, newborns use their hands as well as their mouths to stimulate maternal oxytocin release after that birth, which may have significance for uterine contractions and helps the uterus return to its original position. Milk ejection, getting the breasts ready to release milk. And mother-infant interaction. These movements include infant's hand, finger, mouth, and tongue movements, positions of the hand and body, and sucking behavior. So that massage that the babies give to the parent as they're on the chest is also as important as the touch and massage that we give the baby as they're on the mother's chest. Let's look more in depth into skin-to-skin contact. For the first skin-to-skin contact, the infant is delivered right into the mother's abdomen in most cases, where the mother's skin keeps the baby just the right temperature. The baby can be examined and patted dry and covered right on the mother's abdomen or chest. And non-essential treatment, bathing, and measuring can be postponed for at least an hour. For maximum stability and bonding, skin to skin should be encouraged and repeated often in the first weeks of life. I was lucky enough, 38 years ago to choose a hospital that was very up to date and work with a nurse midwife when I gave birth to my third baby. I have 4 adopted children and 1 birth child. And just that, having the baby on my chest all that time was amazing. And they actually didn't weigh the baby until 24 hours after the birth because I wanted to stay with my baby and I didn't want the baby to go down the hall to where the measuring equipment was. Skin-to-skin time supports better outcomes for premature babies, better outcomes for the dyad as a whole, positive effects on an infant's physiological and immunological outcomes, improved motor and cognitive developmental outcomes later on. It supports the initiation and duration of breastfeeding, enhances bonding and attachment behaviors, positively influences maternal-infant affection, and supports optimal brain development. It positively influences mother-infant bonding, affectionate touch in the daily routine, and encourages tactile interactions between mother and infant. That was from The Influence of Mother-Infant Skin-to-Skin Contact on Bonding and Touch in 2019 by Potgieter and Adams. What do parents say after they've experienced skin-to-skin? Parents who do skin-to-skin after birth report reduction of stress, lower levels of depression, more sensitivity to their baby's cues, and more responsiveness from their baby. Keeping baby warm. The chests of mothers who have just given birth are a degree or more higher than the rest of their body, which creates a natural warming area for the baby. The mother thermoregulates for the baby, adjusting their temperature to keep the baby just the right temperature. And that's a reason why, one of the reasons why skin to skin is so wonderful in the NICU and so great for parents to do after the birth, in the weeks afterwards. Let's look more at massage and kangaroo care for preterm infants. Both infant massage and kangaroo care were effective in improving body weight and reducing length of hospital stay with low birth weight preterm infants, according to a 2014 study. Immediate and continuous kangaroo care saves lives. The World Health Organization is really interested in and works hard to promote skin-to-skin and kangaroo care. It can be done anywhere in the world by without any kind of extra cost. A recent study by the World Health Organization and 4 African hospitals found that kangaroo care is even more effective when it is started immediately after a preterm birth, and it's continuous rather than just a few hours a day once a baby is judged stable. Researchers estimate this approach could save 150,000 babies' lives a year. So instead of taking the baby away from the parent and down the hall to see whether there's any problems with the baby and waiting to see whether they're breathing well, keeping good control of their temperature, instead place them on the mother's chest and do that work right there. An interesting study looked at early perceptions of touch. A baby's earliest encounters with touch define how a child will later perceive caresses and other tactile stimulation. Early medical procedures can affect a premature child's ability to perceive and react to gentle touch. Supportive experiences like breastfeeding and skin to skin are associated with stronger brain responses, whereas painful touch experiences are associated with reduced brain responses to the same touch stimuli. Common early perinatal experiences with touch may shape the somatosensory scaffolding of later perceptual, cognitive, and social development. So babies are just like adults. If you experience something that hurts you, you don't want to do it again, and you avoid it after that. This was from a study, The Dual Nature of Early Life Experience on Somatosensory Processing in the Human Infant Brain in 2017. Skin to skin supports breastfeeding. A 2012 study showed that 95% of mothers who spent skin to skin time were breastfeeding exclusively 48 hours after delivery, and 90% were still breastfeeding exclusively 6 weeks later. So a great indication that skin to skin is supporting the natural and processes of human development and making them easier for parents to follow. So let's look at breastfeeding. Breastfeeding intimately combines touch with the meeting of vital needs. Breastfeeding is relaxing and increases intimacy. Breastfeeding may assist the development of attachment via the provision of regular intimate interaction between mother and child through the calming, relaxing, and analgesic impact of breastfeeding on children, and the stress-relieving influence for parents. Maternal sensitivity, promoting influence of breastfeeding on mothers. Just the act of breastfeeding makes a difference. Feeding breast milk directly from the breast compared to feeding it from a bottle increased the mother's maternal sensitivity towards their infants after the feeding. And I found that one particularly interesting because I adopted 4 out of my 5 children, and 3 of them were infants, and I was able to breastfeed them for a number of years after I adopted them. And I was also able to do infant massage. I learned infant massage right when I adopted my first one, and I contacted my friend Vimala and said, Vimala, I want to learn this infant massage you've been talking about. This was back in 1980. And she sent me her book on infant massage, and I massaged my children. That's me and my daughter Maha Joy there on the right. And I also was able to breastfeed my children by using a supplementer and getting support from people in the Leche League who had adopted children and used a supplementer to breastfeed them. Infant massage is an intentional way for parents to give their child even more nurturing touch. So let's, a lot of my focus in setting up this program was looking at touch with infant massage. Years ago, I put together a handout for parents called the Documented Benefits of Infant Massage. And I'm hoping that we can update that again and have something that we can refer families to that shows the benefits of infant massage that research has shown. But we're going to look at some of them together right now. As we know, infant massage is far more than just touch. The position that we put babies in so that they can see our face and we can see their face for touch communication supports parent-baby interaction, language, and connection. Just that process, I think, is a very important thing that happens when we sit down and we massage our babies. Parents learn through the massage to read their baby's cues and respond to their needs. So when parents learn how to ask permission of their baby before they do a massage, when they learn about how to know when to stop massaging their baby, or their baby teaches them when it's going to be time to, how they show cues that says, it's almost time to stop now, mom, dad. So that's important. Asking permission helps a child feel heard and involved and honored. And I think that's another important part of our massage process. Well, there are many physical benefits to baby receiving infant massage. There are also many psychological and social benefits for both baby and parent. So let's look at some of those benefits. But before we start talking, I wanted to take a moment to talk about research in infant massage. Infant massage is not something that a lot of people make money off of. And so there's very few people out there organizations out there, drug companies, et cetera, who want to invest money into doing infant massage research. But it is one of the most important ways that touch with infants has been researched. And so people have taken it from that point of view. Keep in mind that infant massage research is underfunded. As a result, studies are often small and not well designed. It's hard to measure things like love, bonding, closeness, and emotional availability in research studies. It's easier to measure things like weight gain, stress hormone levels, and things that are much more measurable than that. And another thing to keep in mind is that there's been a lot of research done on premature babies. I don't think it's because premature babies necessarily need a lot of research on them, but it's a captive group for researchers to look at. And so they end up doing a lot of research on that group because they'll stay there in the hospital in one place for a period of time. So keeping that in mind, let's look at the research and what it says. Preterm weight gain after infant massage was one of the very first things that brought medical attention to infant massage way back in, I think, 1987, when Dr. Field first started doing work with preterm infants in Florida. Preterm weight gain after infant massage. A 2010 review of preterm infant massage therapy research found that massage therapy has led to weight gain in preterm babies and increase in bone density. Weight gain was associated with shorter hospital stays and significant hospital cost savings. So that was one of the first, an update of one of the first things that was looked at with babies. So infant massage helps babies gain weight. Let's look at that. Low birth weight infants that had tactile kinetic stimulation for 3 15-minute massages per day had significantly higher weight gain and gain in height. That was in 2016. So that has continued to hold true even as we've brought more touch into the NICU in general. Increased vagal activity seems to have a lot to do with this. Infant massage has been shown to increase vagal nerve activity in infants. Increased vagal activity is linked to socio-emotional development, growth, positive mother-infant interactions, and stimulation of gastric motility associated with weight gain. So vagal activity helps the whole digestive tract and all the organs in the center of the body work more effectively with each other. Higher developmental indexes. Mothers of very low birth weight infants gave both skin to skin care and infant massage to their infants in the hospital. At age 2, growth was the same between the two groups, but those who had also been massaged scored slightly higher on the psychomotor developmental index and significantly higher on the mental development index. So, doing skin to skin, getting massage, these things tend to affect the mental development of the child. Massage linked with lower pain profiles and higher cognitive scores. Stable preterm infants massaged at least 10 times by their mothers show significantly lower premature infant pain profile scores at discharge and higher cognitive scores at 12 months. So again, we see that touch interaction between the parent and the baby help them in the long run. Massage helps babies stay warm. Rather than lowering an infant's temperature, massage therapy promoted better temperature regulation in babies in incubators in a nursery. So we don't have to worry that the baby's getting cold by the massage. We need to watch their cues and warm the temperature of the room, of course, when we have that opportunity. Infant massage of preterm infants in the NICU decreased stress and had a pacifying effect, reducing their activity level. And better hospital outcomes. When 52 very low birth weight infants were massaged 4 times a day, sepsis was reduced and babies were discharged 7 days earlier than babies receiving standard care. Improved immune functions was found in infants in orphanages in Ecuador who had a lower rate of diarrhea and illness than infants who received standard orphanage care. That was from Van de Jump's research study in 2006. Improved sleep patterns. A simple massage before sleep for the first month of life resulted in babies going to sleep more quickly, longer sleep for the mothers, and fewer night wakings, and longer sleep for the infants. Low birth weight babies that had received massage were less likely to snore during sleep, required less feeding on waking up at night, and appeared more alert during the day, which means better nights. Let's look at mood and how that works. When mothers massage their babies for 10 to 15 minutes each day for 4 weeks, they experienced a reduction in anger, hostility, tension, anxiety, and fatigue. Giving infant massage helps the mother's mood. Infant massage is recommended to reduce depression in new moms. Based in a 2022 review of 9 studies of infant massage with depressed mothers, Fenn and his colleagues suggested parent-performed infant massage was advised for maternal depression, and it was recommended in the NICU for improving the general mood of all mothers in preterm infants. The study was done in China. Babies of depressed mothers. Back in 1996, Dr. Field found that massaged babies of depressed moms spent more time in active alert, cried less, and had lower cortisol levels. They increased their weight gain, showed more emotional ability and sociability, were more soothable, and gained more weight. Moms need massage too. Depressed pregnant moms who were massaged by their partners for 20 minutes twice a week immediately reported lower levels of anxiety, depressed mood, and back and leg pain. By the end of the study, the massage group showed higher dopamine and serotonin levels and lower levels of cortisol and norepinephrine. The babies had reduced fetal activity and better neonatal outcomes for the massage group. Reduced depression and anxiety levels. Depression and anxiety levels were reduced in mothers after giving birth. After giving infant massage, sorry about that. So just right after the massage, the differences were seen. Infant massage improves interaction. Mothers of infants in a NICU who massaged their babies for 10 days were shown to be less intrusive and more reciprocal in their interactions with the baby, and while the infants were more socially involved 3 months later. Let's look at fathers in infant massage. Active participation of fathers in early interventions, such as infant massage and kangaroo care, with their babies seemed to enhance fathers' interactions with children and increase the father's positive perceptions of the child. First-time fathers who massaged their babies daily reported 4 major benefits to themselves and their infants: soothing the infant, caregiving, relieving confidence, and contribution. The fathers expressed a desire to find more ways to interact with their baby. I also ran into a lot of research on infant massage classes that I thought would be interesting to you. Involvement in infant massage classes may be helpful in reducing stressors for depressed mothers and improving their interactions with their infants. Parents in a month-long infant massage class reported decreased perceived stress levels and had an enhanced perception of their individual parenting abilities. An Italian study was done of emotional availability in families. Results from videotapes of 3 different points of the infant massage class and self-reports showed a significant improvement in the quality of mother-infant interactions between the first and the last evaluation, parallel to the unfolding of the massage program, highlighting a general increase in maternal and child's emotional availability. Many of you work in early intervention in one way or another, and even people who just teach classes, people who teach classes in their community are doing a form of early intervention. They're bringing help and support to families. So I wanted to look at some of this research. In a study of young African American mothers who were taught infant massage and practiced with their babies for 2 months, learning infant massage enhanced maternal-infant physical contact, lowered depression, and positively influenced mothers' perceptions of infant temperament, how they thought about their baby. Teen mothers who were taught infant massage had substantially lower depression scores than teen mothers without infant massage classes. They were more adaptive, showed increased comfort with physical contact, and widened their perception of child temperament. Researchers concluded infant massage is a well-researched, simple, inexpensive, and innovative technique that provides both hands-on experience and intellectual enhancement. Mothers of preterm infants who learned massage were less intrusive, interactions were more reciprocal, and the massage infants were more socially involved in a research study in 2006. And in a post-program study of health visitor-led infant baby massage classes in UK, research showed a positive relationship between the parent's perceived level of self-esteem and sense of competence as a parent. And a 2002 study, baby massage was effective in increasing mother-infant attachment in a study in Turkey with pre- and post-assessments of the parent-baby relationship. And a look at various interventions of all sorts of kinds in families. Klein, Wilderman and al. Looked at various infant interventions based on either parental sensitivity and or attachment. And the interventions found to be most effective used a moderate number of sessions with families with or without multiple problems and used a behavior focus. The more effective the intervention were in enhancing parental sensitivity, the more effective they were in enhancing attachment security. And into enhancing parental sensitivity, helping parents read and respond to their baby's cues is so much of the work that we're doing in infant massage. Importance of supportive relationships we've been talking about a lot in this conference. Mutually rewarding serve and return interactions with adults build brain circuits, facilitate emerging capabilities, and strengthen roots of physical and mental health. Neglect can be a greater threat to development than abuse. Supportive relationships can restore disrupted stress responses for children. Mothers of NAS babies who had been drug exposed and responded negatively after birth found infant massage to be very helpful. Interviews of mothers of NAS babies who learned infant massage found empowerment, enjoyment, bonding, calm and comfort, suggesting that infant massage helped alleviate withdrawal symptoms in infants while fostering a connection between mother and child. And that's neonatal abstinence syndrome, the experience of infant massage in 2016. Infant massage helps challenged parents and babies connect. Parents who massaged their babies who had been diagnosed with autism reported feeling more able to get physically and emotionally close to their children. And the children also showed cues to initiate massage at home. And last, I ran into a study on online classes that I thought was interesting. Towards the end of the pandemic in 2021, 2022, mothers were interviewed after their experience in an online class. Mothers said they had a good experience learning infant massage and had better interaction with their infants after taking an online infant massage class. The findings show that an online infant massage class can benefit both mothers and infants wherever they are. Carrying and holding a baby is a vital way we touch our infants. And so I wanted to explore that a little bit together. Baby wearing, it can be an important way to connect parents and babies and help them be more sensitive to each other. In a 2019 study, researchers found that baby wearing enhanced the mother's responsiveness to their infant cues, tactile interactions, and their beliefs in the importance of responding to their baby's needs. In 2020, Williams and Turner found that at-risk adolescent moms who wore their babies were more likely to have secure attachments and less likely to have disorganized ones. In how we carry does make a difference. Low socioeconomic status mothers were given either a soft baby carrier or a plastic infant seat to use on a daily basis. At 3.5 months of age, the soft carrier infants looked more frequently at their mothers and cried less. These mothers were more responsive to their baby's vocalizations. At 13 months, these infants were more likely to be securely attached, 83%, compared with the infant seat group with only 30% who were only 30% securely bonded. I once taught a training and found out after I got there that the mothers had each been promised a stroller if they attended the class. And I was really disappointed because I felt like a carrier would have been much more appropriate for what I was trying to teach the families there. Hormones are related to nurturing touch, and I didn't know an awful lot about hormones involved in touch, and so I did a little bit of research so that I could share that information with you here. Oxytocin is the one that we hear about most. Dr. Uvnas Moberg did studies in 2003, 2015 about many times in between about oxytocin and it's how it builds family. Physical contact with infants, particularly frontal contact, stimulates the release of oxytocin, which is associated with nurturing behaviors and positive mood states. Oxytocin plays a very important role in the effects caused by skin-to-skin contact in both the mother and the newborn, promoting social interaction, reducing stress, and stimulating growth and restoration. Lack of touch increases cortisol. Many children who have not had enough physical and emotional attention are at risk of behavioral, emotional, and social problems as they grow up. Children from deprived situations such as orphanages have vastly different hormonal levels than their peers who grew up in families. Children adopted from Romanian orphanages in the 1980s, as young as 4 months old, still had higher levels of the stress hormone cortisol than their non-adopted siblings. Massage reduces stress in all ages. Stress alleviating effects, shown as decreased cortisol, and the activating hormonal effects of massage, increased serotonin and dopamine, are biochemical effects of massage therapy in a variety of medical conditions and stressful experiences in all ages. So massage in general reduces stress and encourages relaxation, no matter what the age of the person being massaged or giving the massage. Hugging and holding tell a child they are loved and cared for. In a study just released looking at adults in Germany, affectionate touch was associated with decreased anxiety, general burden, stress, and increased oxytocin levels. Receiving and giving affectionate touch decreased cortisol levels and increased happiness. So, we're just coming out of a pandemic when many of us received less touch, many parents received less touch, many children received less touch. It's important for us to emphasize touch right now in our society and use it to support each other. Touch helps children grow. Physical contact with babies and children is essential for their physical and psychological development. When a baby experiences nurturing touch, important growth hormones are stimulated. When touch is lacking, these growth hormones may be inhibited throughout the body, holding the brain, including the brain, liver, and heart. The result can be failure to thrive, and in some cases, death. Babies and toddlers need a lap to climb into. Children and teens continue to need touch as they grow. Whether it's straightening their collar as they go out or a hug as they return from an overnight, a pat on the back when making a goal in a game or achieving a milestone, maybe a back massage as they are studying, a foot massage in front of the TV. Your partner needs a hug when you come home. Your parents need a bit of love from you because things can get harder with age rather than easier, and well, touch always helps. Last word I'd like to give is that if you're an infant massage instructor, a parent educator, a parent, a medical professional, or anyone who works with parents and babies, know that you make a great difference in the lives of many human beings now and in the future generations when you support parents in giving their babies nurturing touch. Nurturing touch is a gift that is given to us at the beginning of our lives. It lasts throughout it, and it's passed on even after we're gone. So thank you for coming today. If I will try.
Thank you so much, Jody.
Unpresent. Oh, thank you. You're the one that unpresents me.
Yes, I love that the second to last slide you had. I thought it was so impactful. In all of your research, I feel like I don't feel like everyone knows it, right? Like, why aren't we sharing more about infant massage, like with all this backing?
Yeah.
But we had one question that popped up, and I know that you wanted me to, oh, that wasn't it. Dan also loved a slide. Amy said oh, no, where was it? The person was wanting to know about skin-to-skin contact. Would it be same for the dad?
Yes. Dads can give skin contact. It's not exactly the same. Nurses that have talked to me who work in the NICU say that when a father does the skin to skin, sometimes the baby will throw an arm out because the fathers will sort of overheat them a little bit.
Oh,
Others, and that's something Dr. Marshall Klass also talks about, is how mothers have more control over the temperature. And if they have twins, for example, one baby's cold, one baby's warm, because one got born first and set aside and the other one got born or whatever, the mother's temperature skin will change under that baby and change
right.
the amount. But it is wonderful for dads to do skin to skin, and it makes a big difference in their relationship with their child.
Definitely.
Thank you, Martha.
Does anyone else have questions for Jody? The last phrase, I don't know.
Yeah, do you want me to go back and read that? The one maybe that you mentioned.
Oh, the second to last one.
Yeah, I can do both of those if I. Oops, I lost it.
I brought it up. It's up.
Okay. All right. I'll come back then.
Here it is, everyone.
Babies and toddlers need a lap to climb into. Children and teens continue to need touch as they grow. Whether it is straightening their collar as they go out or a hug as they return from an overnight. A pat on the back after making a goal in a game or achieving a milestone. Maybe a back massage as they are studying, a foot massage in front of the TV. Your partner needs a hug when you come home. Your parents need a bit of love from you because things can get harder with age rather than easier. And well, touch always helps.
Did you write that?
I did.
I love it. I'm stealing it. I'm not stealing it. I might use it as one of our quotes for one of our social.
You know, you're welcome to use it. And Charlotte will probably want to translate it into Portuguese because she asked for it.
Yeah. Anyone else have any questions? Someone says, TGH, we are baby friendly and we automatically do 1 hour. If mom cannot, we have support do it. Okay. Yes. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, I noticed that at the last time I was at a birth in my hospital is when my daughter gave birth to 10 years ago to her son, and she wanted to give the baby to her the baby's father to hold, and immediately the nurse that was in charge of the baby jumped up and went around to John, and her back was to me, but I could see John's reaction as she spoke, and I couldn't hear what she said, but John went, huh? And he said, I can do that. And then he pulls off his shirt and she lifts the baby up and puts it on his chest and puts another blanket on top of it so that she can continue skin to skin, even though the baby was being moved.
Both of my kids, when they were born, they were brought to me, and this might be too much detail, but the umbilical cord wasn't even cut. Right? Like they were just brought right to my chest, which was such a beautiful moment. And I wish that for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be. Sometimes the umbilical cord doesn't reach under the stomach and then under the chest afterwards.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you everybody for coming.
Yes. Thank you so much, Jody, for your wisdom that you're imparting on us. And we'll make these slides available for our ticket holders. And we'll also make this replay available for people who missed it or wanted to dive deeper into the research they can.
And I'll move into the networking session in case anybody wants to talk to me now.
Sounds good.
At the end of the day. All right.
Thank you.